Welcome to the Stop Losing Women podcast, where it's all about learning how to keep a girl like me interested for the long haul, if you think you can handle it. And now, here's your host, Harry Wilmington.
If you met a woman on a dating app and you go out on a date with her, and then afterwards she says she just doesn't have the capacity to date, I assure you she's lying to you. There's a good chance that you probably did or said something on these dates or in your interactions in between the dates that have caused her to lose interest. But what do those things look like? Let's go over that in today's example from Reddit. So we have a guy that did online dating, and his post says, is this a nice way to say not interested? So he has a text conversation he had with a girl that he took out on a date, and he wants to know if she's just being nice or if she really isn't interested, and if so, what happened? So we're going to go over that. If you're watching this video, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And also, if you need more help, you can go to stoplosingwomen.com, sign up for my newsletter, and you'll get free access to the Get Girls Academy. It is my full-on video, audiobook, and ebook course that will teach you everything you need to know about how to get and attract and keep women. It is a free resource now. All of my dating materials are free except for one-on-one coaching, which you can also sign up for at stoplosingwomen.com. All right, so let's get into this. So this guy says he matched with a girl on Hinge about 2 weeks ago. Really pretty and smart, and we had really great banter and conversations on various topics such as music, movies, art, etc. Then I asked her on a date, which she agrees to. Kudos for you for even asking. A lot of guys don't even get to that step. He says, after some logistical hustle, we do go out for coffee. I wouldn't call it an exceptional date, but it did go well as we were speaking nonstop and in a flow state. I'll get back to the whole coffee date thing later. I did say that I enjoyed our first date, would like to go on another date with you, and she said she would like that. So I don't typically make a habit of trying to say those things on a first date. Like I would have ended the first date saying, hey, I had a great time, get home safe, and then leaving her in wonderment about whether another date was going to happen. That gives her the sign that you're not necessarily desperate for her to have to be your end-all be-all, which at this stage of the dating game, you should have not made that decision yet, right? But most guys get really dopey after the first date. It is what it is. So he says, she says she would love that. We go back, we start speaking again. So I'm assuming this means that they start texting each other again through the course of the week. She makes jokes in the beginning of the week and is pretty funny, but then she has a pretty busy week with presentations, thesis, and a lot of work, yet still responds with enough content, mostly at night. All right, so we're already starting to see what? We're starting to see the downfall of communication. I've done enough of these shows. You guys see this pattern all the time. Guy starts out texting nonstop with a girl he met on the app. Things are going great. And then after the date, he wants to keep up that same level of communication, and hers starts to wane off. Hopefully this is showing you guys a pattern, which is that women don't actually need a whole lot of communication with you to keep interest, but having too much communication with you can very much make them lose interest, as we've seen. So he says, once she gets done with the presentation, she texts me saying that it went so well. And he says, I tried to plan the date for Saturday. She said Sunday would be better at a particular time, but she needs to reconfirm and then never texted me for 2 days. Uh-oh. So once women start saying they need to reconfirm a date with you, you're pretty much already like out, because women that like you, they don't care what they have coming up. They care about if you're coming up. And so I've literally had it where like I've dated a woman and been like, oh, what's your schedule? Oh, I got this and that going on. I'm like, okay, cool. I was going to see if you wanted to hang out, but we can do it some other time. And then they'd be like, no. I can totally, it's not a big thing. I can either move it or I can meet up with you afterwards. So her saying that she needs to reconfirm, that is a stalling tactic for her to try to now go to her girlfriends and figure out the best way to reject you in a nice way. That's not going to make her look like the bad guy in the situation, which clearly she did based on the text that he sent. So he says, after 2 days, she came back with this. So I'm going to put this on screen, but this is what the text says. So she says, hey, I'm sorry. I really didn't mean to ghost. That's a lie. I just had a pretty difficult weekend. I genuinely did enjoy spending time with you. I'm not just saying it. All women say that. But I'm not sure I have the capacity to be dating right now. And I don't even know what I was doing on the app. Oh my God. I don't want to waste your time further, but thanks for the coffee. So understand this is all women speak for. I'm no longer interested, but I know that your ego is going to be crushed already by me rejecting you. So I'm going to come up with a bunch of excuses that seem really logical so that way your logical brain won't take this personally. So the thing about like, I don't have the capacity to date. If you were a guy that she had high interest in, even if she, quote, didn't feel ready, her body would figure out a way to make her feel ready. Her saying she doesn't know what she was doing on the app. Well, she thought she was going to meet a guy that was cool to meet up with, but then he made a bunch of mistakes along the way that caused her to be disinterested. Now, let's pause. What were those mistakes? Because you new guys might not understand what's going on here. So, for one, coffee dates. Guys, I get it. We're not trying to spend a whole lot of money on women on those first dates because we don't want to be used. So we're trying to find the cheapest option. It's not about the fact that taking her to coffee is cheap. One, I find a lot of people don't actually like coffee. I don't. I'm a tea guy personally, but also a coffee date is just not a date that's enough to get a woman enthused or anybody for that matter. Like I've literally taken women to like pizza places or walks along the beach, something that's stimulating, or arcades. None of those things cost a whole lot of money, but a coffee date where you're in a cafe typically, and it's typically pretty silent in there to where you have to darn near be whispering to the person in front of you because people can hear the conversation next to you. You're in a little table with somebody and there's a table that's like right here. Somebody's working on a laptop of some kind. It's not setting the kind of mood and it's not the right kind of environment to elicit a woman getting stronger feelings with you, okay? On top of like, it's just a little sippy drink thing versus like something she can do with her hands, like chewing things and, moving about and drinking. Like it's just not a really solid date to try to build attraction. And a lot of guys, again, they do this move because they think, I don't want to be used. I shouldn't have to spend a lot of money to impress her. If you don't have money to take a woman on a real date, you shouldn't be dating. And you don't have to spend an exorbitant amount of money, but you need to do better than coffee. It's a really uncomfortable date. It's an uncomfortable environment. Most women are pretty selective in the things they're talking about on dates already, let alone you now factor in, and it's in a coffee shop where the music's not that loud, where she's like, I could be heard by people. So she's having to think about every single thing she's saying. It's just not a good look for a date, right? That was the first thing. Second thing is like, and I keep trying to stress this to guys, consistently texting a woman after you've met her is not going to build more attraction. I get if you met her on a dating app, you needed to have some banter. I think 2 weeks was personally too long to be talking to a woman before you ask her on a date, but it is what it is. But even then, it shouldn't be you're texting her nonstop throughout the day. There is seriously a thing as texting burnout. Eventually, they're going to not need it as much. And especially once they've gone, here's the thing, guys. Once you've taken a woman out on a date, it actually works more in your favor for her to hear less from you because now that she's had a good time with you in real life, she can sit with those feelings. Oh, I had a great time with this guy. Oh my God, he did this thing. Oh, we had this date. We talked about this. Oh my God, I got to talk to my girlfriends. Like she has that time now, whereas before she didn't. But when you interrupt that time nonstop, it doesn't allow herself to sit with herself and convince herself that she wants you. She needs to be the one to convince herself to want to see you more. You don't need to be in front of her face all the time trying to put on a show in order to do that, all right? And then, of course, the things that most guys don't see is he asked her out for a weekend date. He asked her out on a Saturday. When you ask women out on Fridays and Saturdays, it makes them feel as though you're more invested into this relationship. That's not even a relationship yet. Why? Because think about it. Fridays and Saturdays are the days where she doesn't have to go to work the next day. So those are her most free days where she can stay out a little bit later and do some more crazy things. And so those are days that she's willing to sacrifice for guys that she's interested in and guys that she's in a relationship with or guys that she sees it's building towards that. So a great barometer for you as a guy is you ask her out Sundays through Thursdays. And then at the point that she starts liking you a lot, she'll say, hey, why don't we try going out on a Saturday? Why don't we try going out on this Friday? I know we already went on a date this week, but something's coming up that I want to see and I want to experience it with you, right? And even what did she say to him? She said that Sunday would be a better day. So she's not yet ready to sacrifice those weekends. I keep talking about that, but you can see in real time a woman saying, no, I don't want to do Saturdays. Let's do Sunday. So if you keep your dates Sunday through Thursday, you're going to keep her interest a lot easier. But this guy didn't know any of that stuff, and therefore she lost interest. So he responded and said, hey, no worries at all. Thanks for being honest and direct with me. I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed the chats and random topics we shared. So he's trying to like do a last ditch effort to beg for her attention. I wouldn't have done that. I would have just been like, okay, cool. Well, hey, if you change your mind, let me know. And just left it at that, right? And so he does say, if things ever quiet down and you want to grab a coffee, hit me up. I'll look forward to it. Good luck. He's still doing it in a way that's like begging, like, please still like me. Like, I'm going to let you go, but please choose me again. And again, that energy is not one that women typically tend to like be attracted to. So then she says, I'd love that actually. Thanks for understanding. I hope this guy is not getting himself into a friend situation, like where he's just now the buddy, and now he gets to hear about all the other guys that she's trying to bang instead of him. So this is not a good look. But again, women are going to say these things because they don't want to hurt our ego. And so they're going to try to give us excuses that sound reasonable, even though in reality it's that you subconsciously you did stuff to make her lose interest. She's not going to always know what those things are, but over talking, over texting, and asking for weekend dates on top of like, I don't know what you guys talked about on the date, but doing the coffee date was also really much no bueno. So you did nothing here ultimately that was going to make her interest increase, only decrease. But the better you know, the more you're likely to not do that. And if you don't know those things, guys, you can learn it for free. You can go to stoplosingwomen.com and you can sign up for my newsletter where you get instant free access to my Get Girls Academy, which houses all of my best things on how to get women, how to do online dating, how to attract them, how to plan first dates, how to deal with arguments with them. We have interviews with a bunch of different dating experts. We have ebooks, we have audiobooks. All that stuff is available for free simply by sending in your name and email address. And if you want one-on-one coaching, go to stoplosingwomen.com, click on the coaching tab, and sign up for a session. That's all I got. I'm Harry Wilmington, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm out. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Stop Losing Women podcast. See you later, big boy.